People, we're back. So today I'm talking to you guys about grow shelves that you can get your seedlings started in. I have my old grow shelf. This bad boy has been with me for a very, very long time. What this was simply a 4-tier greenhouse, right? With the cover. I never put the cover on it, and I just used this. Let me see if I add a little light that'll help you out. And it's very simple, and that's really all you have to do is get yourself a little shelf like this, and then get you some lighting. Lighting is important when it comes to doing a grow shelf. I don't use the CFLs like this anymore. I use LED lights. I actually purchased some brand new LED lights, and I'm excited to be able to try. Let me see if you guys can see the color here. These things are super bright. I don't know if you guys can see all of that, but they have both red and blue lights in them, and they're long. And so this is going to be really, really good. But I am actually going to be replacing this thing. This thing has been really done well for me, but I am going to make another grow shelf. I was in Home Depot and I saw this here, 5-tier shelf here for this here was only $30. The same cost that it would cost you if you got one of these. This is $29.99. So, you know, that same thing. That's the same exact thing I paid for this. And it's actually going to have 5 tiers. It's going to be a little taller than this and a little more sturdy. So with something like this, the shelves don't move. One of the things I didn't like about this is the shelving was very flimsy. And it's only these 3 bars here that holds things. So it really was never super sturdy. This is meant to be super sturdy, to be able to hold and carry things. So I'm going to use this as my base. Also, this thing here is actually 36 inches long. So 3 feet long. I think this might only be, let's see if the dimensions are in here. So this is only 27 inches, and this is 36 inches. So almost a whole nother 10 inches of width going on here. So I'll be able to have more things actually growing on my shelf. So I'm going to put this thing together, and I'm going to show you guys how it looks after the fact. And I want to tell you guys, some things that you can do to get your own grow shelf started in your own house. People, so check it out. We got it all built. This thing took 5 minutes or so to put together. Super easy. It's just putting the sticks down into the hole. You can see how much more sturdy this kind of surface is than something like this. You can see the difference. Matter of fact, let me show you guys what it looks like. The difference. So you can see this thing is gigantic compared to this. If I move it over to the edge, you can see how much more space it is, how much wider this thing is, how much more sturdy it is. So this is a great thing. All I'm going to do is attach my lights now to this. I'm not getting rid of this. What I'm going to end up doing with this, guys, is actually use it for what it was intended purpose, to be a greenhouse. When you're doing your seedlings, there's a time period right in between your seeds to being planted in the ground. We call that hardening. What I'm going to do is use this as the hardening station outside, and now I'll be able to finally use the cover that was supposed to be used for this thing so that it can be used outside. So I'm going to use this as my station for hardening off my plants, the seedlings, my plant starts before I put them in the ground. So this is not going to go to waste. This is all good. Now, only thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to attach my lights to this. Now, show you one thing that I did. So that's the reason why I bought these lights here was because they're going to be longer. These lights actually come with, I don't know if you can see those little attachments here. And all I'm going to use is some zip ties. And I'm going to zip them up here. And then this is going to be fit in nice and snug. And the lights that I had that are like this, what I did was I took one of the lights, and on the back you can see all the screws. I unscrewed all the screws on this thing, and I actually took the back off just so I could see what it looked like on the inside. When I saw that it was kind of hollow on the inside, I saw where all the connectors were. Then I took my drill and I drilled holes in the areas where they were hollow on 4 sides, and then I drill holes in the bottoms here on 4 sides. And what I'm going to do is zip ties in and zip tie those up in here as well. And because this is a wider shelf, I'm going to use 2 of these for 1 shelf. So it's going to be 1, and then I actually have 2 of these, so that's going to be 2, and then 3, and then I'm going to use my old long white lights to go all the way at the bottom. And again, I'm going to just use straight up zip ties, nothing special. I'll show you what that looks like after I'm done. All right, people, we're done. So let me give you a good close up. What I did was, instead of, you got the light there, instead of putting 2 of these across, I did a little light test. You know, my daughter was like, you don't need it, try it out. So we did a little light test, and this light here did give off enough light. It gets a little light on the sides, of course, you know, so down here, it'll be getting a little light. But what we did was we alternated with the long and then the short, and then long and short again. And the long lights actually shine through on those sides here, so it gives it a little more light on the side. So we're going to work with that. So I'm 100% LED, and the only thing I did was I attached each one with zip ties, you can see, and then I, you know, wrapped all the wires along the side so they're nice and pretty, nothing hanging down, so everything is nice. And then I end up buying another power strip, drilled some screws on the side so that the power strip hangs there, and that's it. So, you know, it's a pretty good thing there. So let me show you guys what it's like once I turn all the lights on. Boom. You can see they're giving off plenty of good light the whole way. So I'm 100% LED at this point. Let me show you guys what it would look like. So if you have, this is a long tray, about 72 slots in here, and you know, it's getting plenty of light on there. And I'm telling you, the importance of the light keeps your veggies from being leggy. Leggy is when they start growing real long. If they're growing like that, you know, it's going to take them a little bit of time to recover once they get a little larger. So, you know, giving them adequate light is perfect. And I normally give them about the plants about 14 or so hours of light. And one of the things you're going to need is something like this, a timer. So I set the timer to go off at like 6 in the morning and stay on all the way until I think, what is that, 8 o'clock at night, it'll cut off. So 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. And so it'll be giving light at that time, and then it'll shut off. I also, when they're first germinating, I also use a heat mat. And I have about 3 of these heat mats. So I'll use them on most of the veggies. Some veggies don't like it really warm, like lettuce and some of the herbs. They don't like it really warm to germinate, so I won't use a heat mat for them. But most other things do require heat mats, especially like peppers, tomatoes, all those things like that. So really, people, it's real easy. All you need is a rack. You can get these 3 to 5, and then you just get yourself some nice lights. I'll put a link in the description to the lights that I use. Like I said, I've been using these for years. Those are new, but they look like they're going to work. And, you know, I'll put a link in the description where you can get a heat mat. And you can just buy these greenhouses anywhere. And you want the ones that's a greenhouse. Let me show you why. Okay, so when you do, we're talking about greenhouses, right? The greenhouse comes with these clear lids. And these lids are very important when you're first germinating, because what happens is, now there's a couple types of greenhouses you can get. You can get the ones that's already got the cells in them like this, or you can get the ones that's empty like this. I get the ones that's empty like this because I have a whole bunch of pots. Sometimes I might put pots and I just line them up in here all the way, right? So I get the ones that don't have, and you get the ones with the pods, right? And what happens is you'll pour water in here, you'll water your seedlings real good, and then you'll put this dome on. When you put this dome on, what that does is locks in the air, and all of a sudden the condensation stays in here, and that keeps the soil moist in here and warmer in here, right? So that is produces an environment that your seeds can actually grow in better, especially if you have that heat mat. Sorry guys, I forgot the light there. Especially if you got the heat mat, it'll be real easy to produce that warmth that you need in order to get your seedlings out. And you can do something like this. You can buy a greenhouse kit. I just bought this one because one of the other ones I had was broken. This was $7.99. You can probably go on Amazon and find one cheaper. I was out and about, so I just picked this up. You get that, or you can do stuff like this. They come in 2 sizes. You can get the smaller ones. So if the other one's a 72, this will be like a 36, right? Or you can do something like this. Even if you're on a budget, this silver tray and lid is from the dollar store. This is a cake pan that I got from the dollar store. And all you do is you get some, you can get those flower containers that's in here, or you can get those separate little seed containers, those Jiffy pots, and those will fit in there as well. So there's 3 different options for you. You can buy it in the cell. You can buy it without the cells in, and just fill them up with peat pots. You can buy them from the dollar store, fill them up with peat pots. You can buy the shorter one, right? All of those are the options that you need to get yourself a grow shelf. And you need to get yourself a timer. They sell these. You can buy them online, or you can, and I'll put one in the description, or you can get these from a big box store. I have another one around here somewhere, and I can't find it right now, but it was in a big box store. I think I got that one from Home Depot. I lost it, and then I went online and got one, and then I ended up finding it. So, you know, it was already set, so I left it alone. And as long as you got enough power, I went and ordered me a larger one that this has 12 ports in it instead of 6, because I was adding extra lights. Plus, if I decide to add an additional heat mat or anything like that, this will be able to do it. And I just made it look clean. You don't have to make it look clean. You could leave the wires hanging. It's all up to you. But that's how you do an upgraded seedling shelf. Hope you guys learned something. If you have any questions, y'all know how to reach me. Follow me everywhere. Old Mick Waller. Peace.